Ahsoka is a show that we were all looking forward to. We were all very, very excited that Dave Filoni was writing it. Ultimately, I did not like the show overall. And we're going to go through a couple of reasons why. But I think the main reason is just the show just didn't live up to hype. I'm not here to yuck on anyone's yum. If you enjoyed the show, good for you. A lot of fantastic, wonderful artists worked on it, and I'm glad that other people can enjoy the show. But for me, it's barely scraping by as a good show. It's not bad, it's not terrible, but as a relatively decent, passable show, there's still a lot of things that I don't like about it, and I will share my bias. I watch a lot of god tier shows, such as Attack on Titan, Succession, House of the Dragon, Invincible, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer. Like, I am accustomed to getting fantastic quality, fantastic bang for my buck. Gen V from Amazon Prime, The Boys. I am accustomed to watching fantastic god tier level shows with great writing and stuff. And so for me, and it hurts me as a Star Wars fan that I can't enjoy what they're putting out as much because it's just simply not on that level. The writing here is not on the level of any of the shows that I have just mentioned. And so for me, coming from shows that absolutely blow my mind and then coming into this, it's just like, I gotta lower my expectations a little bit. And I don't like doing that. I like having my expectations met and having my mind blown and really feeling like it was worth it for me to take the time to watch the show. And yet, that's not what happened here. And let's just get into a lot of the things. We're going to go into spoilers. I'm assuming that you've seen Ahsoka. I'm not going to give you the big plot details because I think one of the big reasons why the show didn't really work for me is not necessarily because I haven't seen Rebels, but I think because not a lot of things happen, and I feel like, it's not my job as the audience member to sit through 2 to 3 episodes for the show to get really good and interesting. It's the job of the writer to write a darn good first episode and hook me. It's not on me to endure 2 to 3 okay, slow episodes where I'm not really sure if this is for me or not. No, it's the job of the writer to make a darn good first episode. And that's what the writers of these other shows have done. Like, especially with Gen V. That's a darn good first episode in Gen V. My goodness. So that's my feelings on that. And there's just a lot of dumb characters in this show. I just don't like when the only thing that moves the plot forward is characters being stupid so that the villains can get away with what they're doing. I just doesn't feel great. I just don't like watching that. And so, and again, the general, where is she here? She literally sees the Imperial secret agents get away with a massive hyperdrive. She has no idea where they're going, and she puts a tracking device on it. Go and ask permission from the Senate to go and check it out. Just go look. Just do it. Just take a few ships and look. But she asks the Senate, is no, you have a tracking device on an Imperial, group, a bunch of Empire militants taking a hyperdrive, and you know where it is? No, we don't want you to go check it out. We don't have the resource. She goes and looks anyways. And then suddenly the Senate has all the resources in the world to take the entire fleet and go and get her when she disobeys them. It's like, why can't you just send one ship and do what she asks? Again, it's just really dumb characters. And also, we just talk about how lightsabers aren't fatal anymore and how Civ just didn't cut her in half. Again, you get stabbed through the chest, fine. Still, you get stabbed through there, probably not going to live. I mean, I guess it can cauterize the wound, but still, doesn't make much sense. And again, Shiv could have just swept scythe, just swipe right, cut her completely in half. She wouldn't have recovered from that, And yeah, in terms of Ahsoka, I thought the material shit they gave her was just too dry. It's just too dry. It just wasn't compelling enough for Ahsoka, and that's really all I have to say about Ahsoka. I think Rosario Dawson is great for the role, but I just don't think they gave her some very compelling dialogue to really drive up some drama and bring things home between Sabine and Ezra, because Sabine basically nullified Ezra's sacrifice. At the end of Rebels, Ezra transports Thrawn to a different galaxy and goes with him. That's a pretty huge sacrifice, right? But when Sabine gives the map to Baylan, she nullifies her best friend's sacrifice. And I thought, wow, this is going to be an excellent opportunity to have great tension between these two characters. You know, why would you do that? Why would you void my sacrifice just to come and get me? Like, I made that sacrifice for a reason. Like, this could have been a really good point of tension and a really good dialogue driven scene, really good drama. We could have had some really good progress with the characters. It's never mentioned. They never bring it up. Maybe they're saving it for season 2. But again, now Ezra's back in the normal galaxy, and Sabine and Ahsoka are stuck here on the planet. And it's just like, oh, we're going to have to spend like half of season 2 waiting for Ahsoka and Sabine to get back to Ezra in order for things to really ramp up again. I thought the actor playing him was cool, but then again, everything about him you really only know from Ahsoka or the Rebels series. And I think that's the main problem with this show. The writing's not very good. There's a lot of dumb characters, dumb decisions, and it's just kind of slow. It's really cool to see the witches. That was cool, but this show doesn't really do the work to get me up to speed on who Thrawn is and why he knows Ahsoka, why he knows Anakin. Like, there's 6 books on him, apparently, and the show doesn't do any of the work to give me the backstory, so I just don't really know what to say. It's just not as compelling as it should have been. Also, you know, all of episode 5 was basically irrelevant. The whole scene with Anakin and Ahsoka in episode 5 is basically irrelevant to this particular show. You know, each episode in a show should move the plot of this particular show forward, and it just didn't really do that. And the 2 big mysteries that we had throughout the entire show, what is Thrawn loading onto the Star Destroyer in those boxes, and what is Baylan after, they're not answered. You know, we need to get some sort of clarity and closure at the end of a show. We just don't get any of that. I'm not surprised that 40% of people who started it stopped watching it. You know, I made it through because I wanted to make this video for you guys and tell you about it. But it's not really the best. It's not great. And I wish it could have been better. And, you know, in terms of, this does have some of the dumbest characters in Star Wars, I would say, in terms of just the blatant, stupid mistakes that these characters make. Yeah, it's just not quite what I, as a Star Wars fan, would want. But hey, if you enjoyed it, that's great. Let me know your opinion in the comment section down below. Did the show live up to your expectations? Did you like it? Did you even finish it? And do you have hope for Star Wars still? Or are you getting more and more cynical like me? I try to have hope, but I don't really look forward to new Star Wars projects with much anticipation now. More like, okay, here we go. Let's see if they can pull it off this time. And that's a shame, because Star Wars deserves better than that. Let me know your thoughts on the current state of Star Wars in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.